Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Queen Sugar. So, before I get started, I just wanted to say that I apologize for my absence. I have just been feeling sad, low, depressed, and all that. And I'm not trying to, but that's just how I've been feeling. And when I get like that, I just don't want to do anything. Literally, yesterday was the worst day. And every time I woke up, I looked at the time and then went right back to sleep like I just didn't sleep 9, 10 hours already. I literally have slept almost all day yesterday since 11:30, I guess 11:30 a.m. Yeah, been just sleeping. So yeah, I finally got up this time. It's 5 o'clock a.m. here. Finally got up and I was like, okay. Now one of the times that I did get up, and use the bathroom or whatever, I saw that Tabitha Brown posted something. And even by the title alone, I knew it was something that was going to make me happy. And I tried to get up then, but I just couldn't. So I was just like, okay, the next time I wake up, I'm going to try to get up. And this was the next time. So yeah, I was just so happy for her. I was crying before she even started crying, y'all. Y'all know I love Tabitha Brown. Okay, y'all. So anyway, now that I've gotten that out of the way, just letting y'all know, I'm going to try my best to put up everything that I was supposed to put up. That's why I'm looking like this, wearing this dress, looking moo because it's a whole dress. It's just humongous. And I just wear it around the house. I have a couple of dresses that are like this, and I just wear them around the house. And yeah, so I'm just not up to trying to put on nothing. I had every intention of putting on some more breast cancer stuff. But yeah, today it's not gonna happen. Um, haven't done my hair. The least I wanted to get done while I was off it was for me to wash my hair and do it. I was gonna make another braided wig, and I just sat all the stuff over here, and I just never did it. And I was gonna do my toes and didn't do that because they literally, like, I just started, like, I get this nervous, I don't know, thing that I do, and then I start like digging my toes into my socks while I have shoes on. And I was like, eventually it's gonna rub off on some of my toenails, and it literally just started. And I had already planned on changing out the polish color anyway, so I was just like, so what? But yeah, y'all, haven't even done any of that stuff. All I've done was sleep. Yeah, I was so out of it that I ended up leaving. I went and got my rent and ended up getting some chicken. Now, all of y'all who know about alkaline, you don't eat meat. And I just was in a very, very emotional state. And I got this chicken, ate a little bit of it, didn't feel good afterwards because, again, we ain't even supposed to be eating chicken. I ain't trying to tell y'all not to eat chicken. I just know for me, I know what it is because I've done the research for years. I get it. And when I don't eat meat, that's when the best I actually feel. So whatever. Anyway, I did that. I ended up having to ask somebody if they wanted the chicken that I know still eat chicken and all that stuff. Because if not, I was gonna throw it away. Like, it was a lot too. Like, in my mind, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat off this for a couple of days," knowing good well I didn't need it, and still somewhat feeling the residual of it. Feel like throwing it up. Like, at this point, because I ate it, what, 20, almost 24 hours ago. So yeah, y'all. That's how I've been doing. Sorry, I just had to give y'all somewhat of an update. Uh, and hopefully I'll remember to at least tell y'all to skip to the 4.5 minute mark if you don't want to hear about this. And that's where the recap review is gonna start because I understand that a lot of y'all don't want to hear me blab on about stuff. Understandable. But I just felt like I owed the people who care an explanation. Let's get into this recap review. So the episode starts off with Nova on the phone with the people trying to figure out what's going on with the nature of the investigation because you know that they have been on Ralph Angel's property trying to figure out what type of bone this is. And it looks like it might be human remains. And they were able to, I think, get an injunction started so that the people can stop until they know for a fact that it does relate back to the family that Nova alleged the, body, the remains belong to. Then they just wanted to, make sure they don't dig up no more land. Cool. So all three of the siblings are together. Y'all know Charlie, Nova, and Ralph Angel. And so Ralph Angel's like, okay, so pretty much we just gonna have to sit around and watch them continue to drag Daddy's name through the mud and, just ruin his reputation because we don't believe he did none of this stuff. And Charlie was like, my lawyer is on this. They said that even if the remains do come back as whoever the person is that Nova said that her daddy killed, it's still a very, very small percentage that of a chance that they would be able to even win win anything, like have anybody to, have a case against them and win. Somehow, in my mind, I'm kind of like, how is that possible? I don't know. Because it's like, I guess they trying to play Russian roulette and be like, well, if that were the case, that the person did die, like, you still can't prove that he really was the one who killed him, because what if he was just over there and was drunk and then he fell and he died and whatever. And my dad was just trying to cover it up because he didn't want to have to explain to the family that that's what, I'm thinking that might have been the rationale that the lawyers were, using in that moment. I have no idea, but we gonna get on down the road. Let's see what else going on. So Vi is at her business and, she's doing what she normally does. She taking orders over the phone. Hollywood in there with a basketball. So she trying to figure out what he got going on because she ain't seen him with no basketball in a long time. And he was like, now, Gabriel got me out here. It's all because of him. So he done got this little boy basketball. And he's about to, start playing basketball with her and all this with him and all this other stuff. Well, Billy, and I think that he says her real name is Maybelline. I done forgot how he said it, but anyway, we will go back to Billy because I don't know why I ain't never heard nobody's name being that before. Not trying to say that it doesn't exist, but whatever he said her name was later on in the episode. Yeah. So anyway, they at the house, and so she was like, "Oh, well, do you want something to eat or whatever?" I went, and she basically went to some like healthier version of a place that does, sweets and things to get him like donuts and muffins and all this other stuff. It got like half the sugar, good and well. People that are like prosper, they don't want that. They don't want that foolishness. Then it ain't no black-owned business, I don't believe. If it is, I'm shocked. But anyway, she was like, well, Daddy, just try it. It's half the sugar and all this other stuff. And he was like, why don't you get some from the other lady that we've been knowing for forever? And so she was shocked that the business was even still around. So anyway, he wasn't here for it. And, she was like, okay, well, I'll get you some coffee. Because he said, yeah, I'll take some coffee black. Cool. This heifer done pulled out a coffee maker. And so, because he was like, well, hopefully you'll make it right this time because it almost burned my cheek off last time. She pulled out a whole coffee maker. He was not here for it. And so he was like, I can't afford all of that. You can't be buying stuff like that. So she was like, well, I'm the one who purchased it, so I can, get whatever I want to get for my daddy. He was like, thank you, but I do not want any of this. I don't want any of this stuff. Child. She was like, okay. Like, she just, in her mind, she was like, I don't want to fight my daddy. And so she politely put it down in this bag. He was like, what are you doing? She was like, you said you don't want it. I'm just going to take it back to the store. And, she just going to go ahead and go get the stuff that he want because don't nobody got time. Ain't nobody trying to fight with you all day. So anyway, Ralph Angel is at the house and he go in the bedroom. Darla's laying down. So he go talk to her. And she was like, I'm scared, Ralph Angel. Like, we have a lot of debt piling up. We don't know what's going to happen from the investigation that they got going on. And so he's still trying to play it up like he has a legit gig going on. And she ain't got to worry about that. And child, ain't no legit gig. Please don't get caught up, Ralph Angel. Don't nobody have time for this series to turn into a Violet passes away. You went back to prison for the rest of your life. Darla right here raising the children by herself might go back into addiction. Nova I don't know. Like I don't know about Nova. Davis might try Charlie again. Uh, but just because he got triggered, like ain't no, I don't want none of this craziness to pop off no more. Like I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm just in my feelings because these people be doing too much sometimes. So I'm like, please don't let that be what it's gonna be because don't nobody have time. Well, Nova done popped up at the place where the bones are being, tested to see if there's a connection to the family that claim that those are going to end up really being the remains. They want to know if those are their family members' remains. She done popped up on the person that's going to do the forensics for it. And they were like, Nova, now, I can't give you the information because she's like, look, all I want you to do is to tell me whether or not that it is true or not before you leak the information, before the information gets leaked to everybody else. I just want us to know. So he was just like, I cannot promise you that. I can't tell you all of that because it's an investigation. Like, she was like, you really can't just tell me? Like, once you find out that it's who's ever's bones, because I want to be prepared. I want my family to be prepared, whatever. And he was like, I'm sorry, Nova, I can't help you like that. Well, Darla done went to go and talk to Violet. And y'all know that Violet and Ralph Angel are not on the greatest terms right now. But she was just like, look, I have some money that is set aside for me. And that was set aside for me to go to college. But I never used it all. And my family put it aside for me. I've already talked to Ralph Angel about it. And he doesn't want me to use it. And Violet already could figure out that that's what it was anyway. And so she was like, but what I've done was I've, talked to my family about it and they're sending it to me. And I don't feel very easy about this because I don't like keeping things from him. And I can understand because it's like the smallest thing could like set their relationship back. And my thing is I understand that Ralph Angel feels some type of way, but it's like, sir, y'all are drowning in debt. Like, you got so much stuff going on. It wouldn't surprise me if he had something against the house at this point. Like, if the house is worth enough to them because it's on the land for them to allow them to, y'all know, be able to put something up against put the house up rather. But yeah, so she was like, girl, I have 2 accounts that, Hollywood don't even know about. I think it's smart that you should have your own stuff to the side that your man don't know about. And yes, that's my nephew. We ain't on the best of terms right now. I love him, but I want the best for you and the kids. Don't nobody got time for y'all to get caught out here. And my thing is this, I understand that 100%. I would love, like if I were in a relationship, I would love to, like I've always done, be 100% honest with the person. Be like, oh, this is what I got going on, whatever. But sometimes, like, especially when it comes to that, now I would never make that mistake again. I've done the same thing. I was not ready. And then when my relationship was over, I was just lucky that at the time I was working 2 jobs. I was lucky because I would have had to crawl back home and start all the way back over, which I didn't want to do. So the Lord already knew then. He was looking out for me then. So yeah, but she was trying to tell her, be ready. Anything can happen. I love my nephew, but you don't need to be getting caught out here. Things can happen. And you know what I'm saying? Vi speaking from experience, Jimmy Dale was trash. And like, she basically was not even her own person when she was with him. And she actually was the one who actually had talent and actually had something to give in the relationship, something of substance to share with everybody. He have nothing. He was just trash. So anyway, Prosper and Ralph Angel end up going to the real spot. This was definitely the first time Prosper has seen it in person, so he's happy. So then, Hollywood ends up pouring both of them up something to drink. And they toast everything. And they actually get into a deep conversation about how Prosper just wanted to know if Violet, was mad at him. And so Hollywood was like, what you talking about? You probably about the only person right here that Violet ain't mad at. Like, what you talking about? So he was like, well, she came by the other day and she got upset because I defended Billy. And so he was like, look, even Ralph Angel was like, look here, you need to go on here and Memphis is with your daughter because if my daddy was still around, I would be trying to do exactly that. And you know, because he's like, 1 minute we're good, the next minute it's bad, and then the next minute after that it's even worse, because they get into arguments like they just been bumping heads because what she wants for her daddy is not what he wants for himself. And so he'll just, you know, pretty much fight on her and be like, I don't want that. And I can do this for myself. It is literally for his own good. It's not like she really trying to run him like that. She understands what he actually needs in this moment because he been going through. Child, now Ralph Angel has sat up here. He linking up with old boy. And, you know, the dude who used to be in prison. And so he's trying to let him know that he's interested in that job. And he was like, well, you know, he was like, you told me about something last time I saw you. So he was like, okay, cool. I guess he was trying to make it seem like he was just going to be the getaway man or something, the driver or something. I don't know. Whatever role he was going to play, it was going to be, it seemed as if it was going to be the least troublesome. The one that would get you into the least amount of trouble where you ain't have to really worry about nothing. We'll get into that later on. But he was like, yeah, I'm open to that. So he ended up giving him a stack of money and was like, man, I'm just trying to pay you back for everything that you've done for me. You had my back when we was in there. This is all it is. So Ralph Angel took the money. He pocketed the money. Cool, whatever. So I'm just like, boy, why? Well, Nova and Charlie end up linking up. Charlie went over to Nova's house and they were talking and drinking wine. And, you know, she just wanted to be able to just vent because it's just too much been going on. So then we see Violet, Hollywood, and the family that she's been helping eating dinner. And they really are enjoying the food. And it gets to a point where Hollywood was like, I think I'm going to, you know, save this for later. He done pushed his food to the side. Now, y'all all know how much he lives for Violet's food. His plate was still pretty much full. Then the little boy followed, so he was like, yeah, I think I'm going to save mine for later, too. So he was like, I got a surprise for you, Gabriel. Went in the back, gave the boy the basketball. That boy was so happy. And so his mama was like, oh, my gosh, what you doing with that? Where you get that from? And so then she was like, did you tell him thank you? Hollywood was like, yes, he did. And so she was like, you know what? But I didn't say thank you. Thank you so much. She ended up thanking Hollywood for being there for him, for her son, and for her, and helping, and definitely Violet opening up her house to them. They still going to the hotel and all this other stuff. Because when this moment happened, I was like, please don't tell me that this is going to be a situation where she really want to thank Hollywood and then it end up being a situation where it's like she done got, you know, they done got emotionally attached to this man and she get pregnant. And like, y'all, I better not do, I don't know, my mind just be going there, y'all. Do y'all mind go there sometimes? I don't know. But anyway, you know, she ended up thanking them for everything that they've done. I was like, okay, cool. So anyway, Micah at school, he actually is in his dorm at the moment. And that dude who he's cool with, he rolled up on him, was like, man, have you seen my meal card? He was like, nah, man, but you can borrow mine. He was like, all right, cool. So he finna go back out. But then he was like, what are those? And so he saw pictures from Hollywood's grand opening of his business. He was like, I knew you were into photography, but I didn't know you were good like that. So he ended up asking him if he would, you know, take pictures of him so that he could update his social media profiles and dating profiles and all this other stuff. And so the fact that he had the audacity and unmitigated gall to be like, well, after I'm done eating, can we do it? Because Michael was pretty much like, okay, we can do it now. I'm glad he kind of read it for like, nah, we can go do this now. Because it's like, this is personal time. I'm pretty sure he's finna do this for free. So I'm gonna need for you to get somewhere. So he went on ahead and let him do what he was gonna do. So anyway, like Nova and Charlie spent like the whole day together. And Charlie has been, you know, she's taken up baking, which I've told y'all before is very, very therapeutic. Now, I have not baked seriously in 2 years. After my relationship was over with, I stopped baking seriously. I did bake something. I baked a cheesecake, a strawberry cheesecake for my friend a couple of months ago for her birthday. I came out of retirement, if you will, for that. Out of my hiatus. Let me say it like that. My hiatus, because I don't think I'm all the way done baking. For that. She loved it, thank goodness. Other people were upset because they didn't get a piece and I wasn't making no another one. I'm not making another one. I don't know. I'm tired in my spirit. And I mean, that is one of the easiest things to make. But I was just like, nah, don't want to. I'm tired in my spirit. I ain't making no cornbread. I'm not making biscuits. I'm not making, like, I make breakfast things from scratch. I make all kinds of stuff from scratch. I don't feel like doing nothing, so I ain't doing it. So Charlie has taken this up, and she has tried to explain to Nova that this is something that's therapeutic, which it really is, y'all. Like, I legit was spending extra money that I ain't have like that when I was at my last 2 jobs. And I would legit make cakes and pies and cookies when I wanted 1 or 2 cookies for myself and take the rest to work. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, it very much so is therapeutic. So I understand that. But she's trying to do that. And Nova was like, well, I'll just stick to drinking wine as my way to unwind and have my therapeutic moment. So, I don't know. I think she should. Because all she do, I mean, she already good, I guess, because she smoked weed. So it's like she already getting her, her mellowed out moments anyway. So it's like if she gonna drink on top of that, oh, she good. She don't need to do all the extra stuff. Ralph Angel had met up with this man, and this man rolled up to me. So, all right, it's been a change of plans. The person that was supposed to help me done bailed. So Ralph Angel was like, man, I done already told you I wasn't trying to do all this. And he was like, it's always some BS, man. So he was like, Ralph Angel, if you don't want to do it, you ain't got to do it. Just give me the money that I gave you back, and then we square. So he thought about it for a second. He was like, all right, man, whatever. Let's go ahead and do this. And I'm just like, child, this is too much. I hate it. So then we see Hollywood and Violet have a moment. And, she had already taken them back to the hotel room, the woman and the child back to the hotel room because that's where they're living. They're not living in her home. And she was just like, I see how you look at him. And there's a difference in you. You look different. And it's a good type of different. And you are so good with him. We are always going to have kids around us, but you know that none of them will ever be ours. And so he was like, I understand that. Like, she had to ask him again, like, are you sure that you are okay with that? Because I can't give you no kids. So he had to tell her, I'm good. Hopefully Hollywood is good, y'all, because that's the one thing that man has really wanted. But he lived for Violet. So I'm really hoping that nothing can break their bond. I think the only thing that will mess it up is if she does pass away. So yeah, because I think somebody is going to pass away. And I think it's going to be her or Prosper this season, if not both of them. I'm really hoping that I'm all the way wrong because I love both of them. So yeah, we going to see. So yeah, we actually see the situation unfolding with Ralph Angel. And so he's like moving boxes or something. I don't know if it was a part of one of the many things that the Landrys own around there, but they moving boxes into this van. And, Ralph Angel's paranoid. He was like, you heard something? Did you hear that? I'm like, child, please don't let nobody come up there. Like, and then before he even got out the van, y'all, because he's in this, I guess he's the one who's going to be driving the van. He prayed to God. He was like, Lord, I ain't want to get into this no more, but I need to provide for my family. This is going to be the only time I do this. Lord, if you get me out of this, I promise you I won't do it no more. I just need this for my family. I've been trying. And this man started crying. Like, he was like, I don't come to you often. I ain't been up in the church house. And like, he really was saying it all. I was like, Lord, not him crying, Lord. So anyway, they finished the job. So he on the road and he driving. Police sirens. I was like, Lord, sheriff sirens, whatever. They live in the country, so I'm guessing it was the sheriff passing by. And so he thinking he finna get got. He done pulled over, and I guess the police officer just needed to get by, and they kept on going. So he's breathing a sigh of relief because they passed him. I was like, Lord, please let him get to the house or wherever he going so he can get to the house to his family, because the man had paid him and all this other stuff. So I'm like, Lord, that's the last thing we need. Please don't do it. So anyway, Charlie ended up going to visit Vi, and she has her trying something that she's, baked. And so she asked her how was it. She said, they're good. Now, why do you really want me to talk to you? Like, what do you really want? So she was like, what you mean? trying to play that role like she don't know. You know good and well, Violet, no. So anyway, she was like, things have been happening, that Davis and I are back together and, everybody's being in our business, all this other stuff. So she was like, girl, you were the one who put the picture out there. Then you went on national television and did an interview. So why is it that you think these people ain't gonna be in your business? Why do you care what these people have to say? Now, did I ask y'all what y'all thought about Hollywood? And she was like, no. She was like, exactly, because I'm the one who's in the relationship with him, not y'all. You are the only one that's gonna be in a relationship with that man. As long as he's treating you right, do what you do, we don't care. Like girl. Then she read her at the end, was like, leave the bacon to me, because these dry muffins or whatever it is she said they was. She said they ain't it. She was like, those are croissants. Child, the fact that she thought it was a whole muffin or whatever it was, she thought it was a cupcake, child, that is ridiculous. You need to leave it alone. So anyway, Billie linked up with Nova because she wanted to make sure that she understood that she is apologized for what she did in the past, which is bringing out and up her sexuality to her daddy, which is something that she could never, that's a bell that she could never unring, because Nova probably wanted to tell her daddy herself. You know what I'm saying? You done did the most. So she thanked her for apologizing and all of that. And it's crazy that when their friendship was pretty much over and super strained after all that happened, they both would run across people and they found themselves comparing everybody to one another because they were best friends and nobody could measure up. So, now they, trying to find their way back to the friendship that they had. So we're going to see how that works out. Well, everybody has gotten together and they're raising a toast because the remains that were found on the land are not that of the family member that was named in that book. But it is 150 years old or something like that. But Ralph Angel was like, even though it's not that person's, I'm wondering who it is. Now, in my mind, I was like, it might be one of their family members' bones. Like, it might be one of their ancestors' bones. Like, that's crazy. So, yeah. Anyway, old boy met up with Micah and, thanked him for being a cool friend and all this other stuff. So, while he in the middle of thanking him, he did what should be normal. It should be considered a part of normalcy, which is something that I love, which was he hugged him. And because the guy was facing away from him, he saw these manly men, if you will, looking at them like, oh, they must be gay. Like, just looking at it. You could tell the way they were looking at it, like, oh, they must be gay. Or they know that this man is gay. Like I keep telling y'all, if I'm not mistaken, this dude is going to come out and be bi, gay, asexual, something. I don't know. But they see that Micah and this guy are hugging, and then they end up leaving and going where they're going to go. And I'm like, child, I can't wait for this part to unfold. When is it going to happen, though? So anyway, Ralph Angel is out and about with Darla, and he has surprised her with an Airbnb baby moon getaway, because the last time they tried to leave and go on their honeymoon, that was cut short. The most was popping off. So she was like, this is expensive. It's really, really nice, but it's so expensive. So he lied to myself. He did a double shift with old boy that he was in prison with, and that he pulled another one next week. And in my mind, I'm like, are you actually about to pull a caper with this fool again and think that because you came out of it this time and you escaped, from getting any type of repercussions from the thievery and things that was going on, that you're going to be able to get away with it again? Is that what we doing? Oh, okay. You're going to prison. You're going to prison. So anyway, this fool talking about he got a whole nother situation next week with this man. If you don't go somewhere and sit down, so, she happy and she trying not to worry and whatever. Well, Nova has called over old boy that I told y'all I knew from Hit the Floor, who was the neighbor. He bringing paper rolls over there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Rolls, cigarette rolls or whatever. And so she's trying to just have a moment where she can talk to him, because she's like, do you know anybody that I can talk to figure out whose remains these are? Because we found out that they don't correspond with what I thought was going on. And it has nothing to do with the person who my daddy might have gotten into with when he was alive. And so he was like, yeah, I know somebody at the university who should be able to get that done for you. So we gonna see how that unfold at some point in time. So Then we see Prosper at the end of the episode, and he's talking to the daughter. And he was like, oh, it smells so clean in here. She's really in the middle of cleaning. And so he was just like, trying to make amends. And so he literally called her by her real name. And I was like, wait a minute. It was so sad that he was like, you ain't called me by that since I was a child. Like, either I was in trouble or, it was something like really serious for him to ever like say her real name. And like the last time he said it, she was a child. So, earlier in the episode, he was trying to remember why she got in trouble. Like what she stole from the bakery that he wanted the pastries from. And when he was walking away, she said it was donut holes. And he was like, yeah, I used to love those things. We had to take them from you. If we didn't take them from you, you would eat a whole carton by yourself for breakfast. So yeah, they ended up embracing and, saying they love one another at the end of the episode. So it's going pretty well. I'm very glad that they have, gotten on a better foot, gotten off to a better start, trying to start over and do what they need to do to be a loving family to one another. Anyway, y'all, hopefully y'all enjoyed the recap review of Queen Sugar. I'll be back with Our Kind of People. Y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.